Have you ever sat by a window at dawn and watched how the first light gently brushes the edge of the curtain? There's something about that hour, something quiet, something sacred. It reminds you that time is still passing, even when your life feels like it's standing still. At 77, I've come to realize that silence doesn't always mean peace. Sometimes it means you've run out of people to talk to. Sometimes it means the things you thought mattered most never really did. I spent 2 months in a nursing home, and what I learned there didn't come from books or doctors or therapy sessions. It came from watching people who once ran companies now struggle to tie their shoes. Watching men who once raised families now wait hours just to feel someone hold their hand. If you're in your 60s, 70s, or even younger, I invite you to listen, not because I have all the answers, but because I've seen what matters when almost everything else is stripped away. And before we begin, take a moment, leave a comment if you've ever felt time slipping through your hands. And if this message touches you, I'd be honored if you subscribe and stay with me through this quiet reflection. Let's begin. As the first light of dawn gently brushes against the window, I find myself reflecting on the essence of life's true treasures. Here in the quiet embrace of the nursing home, where time seems to dance at its own pace, I've come to realize that the material things I once chased have lost their luster, like autumn leaves carried away by the wind. The thrill of a new car or the pride in a well-furnished home now feel like distant echoes, overshadowed by the warmth of shared laughter and the gentle touch of a friend's hand. In this serene space, stripped of the clutter that once defined my days, I've discovered clarity. The real wealth lies not in what we own, but in the stories we create, the love we nurture, and the memories we hold close. As I sit, enveloped by the simplicity of these moments, I invite you to join me in cherishing the intangible treasures that truly make life meaningful. 1. Every day is a gift, don't waste it. Every morning as the first rays of sunlight filter through my window, I'm reminded of a simple truth that has become my guiding light. Each day we wake up is a chance to embrace life anew. In the nursing home, where time has its own rhythm and each moment feels more precious, the sudden loss of a dear friend shook me to my core, reminding me just how fragile and unpredictable life can be. This experience has opened my eyes to the importance of living each day with intention and gratitude, rather than letting it slip by in a haze of regrets and some days. For years, I clung to the belief that there would always be more time to do the things I dreamed of, to mend broken relationships, and to live fully. But now as I reflect on my journey, I understand that one day is today, and it's the only day guaranteed to us. Here, without the daily responsibilities that once defined me, I've had to confront how much of my life was spent on trivial worries and procrastination. This realization has been both humbling and liberating, allowing me to focus on what truly matters. The passing of my friend has ignited a sense of urgency within me to savor the simple joys that life offers. The warmth of the sun, shared laughter, and the comfort of companionship. These moments, which I once overlooked, are the real treasures that make life meaningful. I'm learning to express love openly, to forgive and let go of past grievances, and to prioritize the relationships and experiences that bring joy and fulfillment. In this place where the past feels like a distant echo and the future is uncertain, I've found peace in embracing the present. I'm making a conscious effort to act on my intentions, nurture meaningful connections, and create lasting memories. Each day, I strive to live with purpose and appreciation, welcoming life with open arms and an open heart. So if there's one message I hope to convey, it's this: don't wait for tomorrow to do what you can today. Live with purpose, love without holding back, and cherish every moment. Every day is a gift, and it's up to us to make the most of it. Let's honor the time we have by living fully, appreciating each moment, and treasuring the people who enrich our lives. 2. True happiness comes from simple things. Every morning as the first rays of sunlight filter through my window, I'm reminded of a simple truth that has become my guiding light. Each day we wake up is a chance to embrace life anew. Here in the quiet corners of the nursing home, where each day unfolds at its own pace, I've stumbled upon a surprising realization about happiness that has transformed my understanding of life itself. For much of my life, I believed happiness was something to be pursued, a grand achievement to be earned through success, recognition, or perfect circumstances. But now, stripped of the daily responsibilities that once defined me, I've had to confront a new reality. The loss of those roles left a void, an emptiness where my sense of self used to reside. And in that emptiness, I found a quiet grief, a mourning for the life I thought I needed to live to be happy. It was during these reflective days that I met Mary, a fellow resident who, at 85, radiates a joy that seems to light up every room she enters. Her laughter is contagious, her stories rich with wisdom and warmth. Despite the physical limitations and the inevitable losses that come with age, Mary exudes a contentment that is both enviable and inspiring. Watching her, I began to understand that true happiness isn't found in the grandiose or the extraordinary. It resides in the simple, everyday moments that are so often overlooked. Mary taught me that happiness is an internal state, cultivated by appreciating the small pleasures we encounter daily. She finds joy in the gentle warmth of the morning sun streaming through her window, in the aroma of freshly brewed tea, and in the lively conversations we share over meals. These moments, seemingly insignificant, are where genuine contentment lies. They are the threads that weave together to form a tapestry of a life well lived, a life filled with gratitude and presence. In my previous life, I was constantly chasing after the next big thing, believing that happiness was just around the corner, waiting to be unlocked by some future achievement or change in circumstance. But this constant pursuit left me weary and dissatisfied, always feeling as if something was missing. Here, in the simplicity of the nursing home, I have learned to let go of that chase. I've discovered that happiness was never something to be pursued. It was always within reach, hidden in the simple acts of daily life. Reflecting on my journey, I realized that I spent too much time dwelling on past regrets and losses, allowing them to overshadow the joys of the present. The absence of daily responsibilities has forced me to confront these feelings, to sit with them in silence, and ultimately to release them. In doing so, I've made space for new joys to enter my life. I've learned to appreciate the moments I have now, instead of longing for what was or what could be. Living in this place, surrounded by people like Mary, who have embraced the beauty of simple things, I've begun to see life through a different lens. The small pleasures, like the sound of birds singing outside my window, the taste of a favorite dessert, or the warmth of a shared smile, have become my sources of happiness. They remind me that life is still full of wonder, even in its quieter chapters. If there's one lesson I hope to impart, it's this. True happiness comes not from chasing after it, but from recognizing and appreciating the simple joys that are already present in our lives. By shifting our focus from what we lack to what we have, we can cultivate a deep sense of contentment and fulfillment. Happiness, I've learned, is not an external goal to be achieved, but an internal state to be nurtured. And in the end, it's the simple things that make life truly beautiful. 3. Health is more valuable than wealth. In the hushed serenity of the nursing home, where life's pace slows to a gentle rhythm, I have discovered a truth as profound as it is often overlooked. Health, not wealth, is the true cornerstone of a fulfilling life. This understanding has dawned on me not through books or lectures, but through the poignant observations of life around me and the quiet grief that has settled into my own soul as I reflect on the choices I've made. Here, stripped of the daily responsibilities that once defined my existence, I have had ample time to ponder the true essence of a life well lived and to confront the stark truth that wealth loses its meaning when health is compromised. I often watch a fellow resident, a man whose life was once marked by immense wealth and influence, now confined to a wheelchair, struggling with the basic functions of eating and walking. His days are filled with the constant hum of medical machines and the gentle yet firm guidance of caregivers who assist him with every task. Despite his financial resources, he is unable to reclaim the independence and vitality he once took for granted. This stark reality serves as a daily reminder that no amount of money can buy back lost health or restore the simple joys of life that come from being able to move freely and live independently. Reflecting on my own life, I am filled with a quiet regret for not prioritizing my health when I had the chance. In my younger years, I was swept up in the pursuit of success, believing that financial security would be my ultimate safeguard against life's uncertainties. I worked tirelessly, often neglecting my physical well-being, thinking that there would always be time to take care of myself later. Yet here I am, realizing too late that health is the foundational asset upon which all other aspects of life depend. Without it, the resources I accumulated now seem hollow and insufficient. The loss of daily responsibilities has left a void in my sense of self, a void that is now filled with reflection and the understanding that proactive self-care is essential. I have come to appreciate that maintaining physical health requires deliberate effort and consistent attention throughout life. It involves making conscious choices about exercise, diet, and stress management. Choices that preserve the body's ability to function and enjoy life's simple pleasures. These are the choices that, once neglected, lead to the very predicament I find myself in now, a life where wealth cannot compensate for the loss of health. As I sit here, surrounded by others who share similar stories of regret and missed opportunities, I realize that health is not just about the absence of illness, but about the presence of vitality and the ability to engage fully with the world around us. It is about waking up each day with the energy to pursue passions, nurture relationships, and experience the beauty of life without physical limitations. This is the true wealth that sustains us, far beyond the material comforts that money can provide. If I could impart one piece of wisdom to those still in the prime of their lives, it would be this: cherish your health and make it your most prized possession. Invest in it with the same fervor and dedication you would apply to any financial endeavor. For in the end, it is your health that will allow you to enjoy the fruits of your labor, to travel, to dance, to laugh, and to love without restraint. It is your health that will enable you to live a life of true abundance, a life where wealth is measured not in dollars, but in moments of joy and freedom. In this reflective solitude, I have come to understand that health is the greatest gift we can give ourselves, a gift that must be nurtured and protected at all costs. It is only now, in the twilight of my years, that I fully grasp its supreme value, a lesson learned too late, but one that I hope others will heed before it is too late for them as well. 4. Forgiveness brings peace. In the gentle quiet of the nursing home, where days unfold with a soft, unhurried grace, I've stumbled upon a truth that feels like a long-lost secret. Forgiveness brings peace. It's a lesson I've learned not from books or lectures, but from the stories and faces of those around me. People who, like me, have spent years clinging to old grudges and unresolved bitterness, only to find themselves trapped in a cycle of pain that seems to have no end. I used to believe that holding on to anger was a way to protect myself, a way to ensure that those who hurt me would never do so again. But as I sit here reflecting on the choices I've made, I realize that this refusal to forgive has only deepened my wounds, casting a shadow over the joy and peace I could have experienced. It's a heavy burden, one that has affected my relationships and my sense of self, and it's taken me far too long to see that forgiveness is not about letting others off the hook. It's about freeing myself from the chains of resentment that have kept me bound. Watching my fellow residents, I see the toll that holding on to bitterness can take. Their faces tell stories of unforgiven relationships and missed chances for reconciliation, and their hearts seem weighed down by regrets that could have been lifted with a simple act of forgiveness. It's a poignant reminder of how destructive resentment can be, and it's prompted me to take a hard look at my own life. So one day I decided to take a leap of faith, to forgive those who had hurt me, not because they necessarily deserved it, but because I deserve peace. It was a decision that felt both terrifying and liberating, a choice to release the past and embrace the present with an open heart. And as I let go of my anger, I found myself experiencing a profound sense of relief and lightness. as if a weight I hadn't even realized I was carrying had finally been lifted. This newfound peace has changed the way I see the world. It's allowed me to let go of the anger that once consumed me and to find joy in the simple moments that make life beautiful. I've come to understand that forgiveness is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to the strength and resilience of the human spirit. It's a gift we give ourselves, one that brings profound inner peace and allows us to live our remaining days with grace and dignity. Reflecting on this journey, I feel a mix of grief and gratitude for the years I spent clinging to anger and for the peace I have now found. I urge anyone who is holding on to resentment to consider forgiveness, not for the sake of others, but for their own well-being. It's a choice that liberates us from the past and opens the door to a future filled with peace and possibility. Forgiveness is a powerful act of self-care, a decision to prioritize happiness and well-being over pride and anger. It's a choice I hope others will make, so they can experience the peace that comes with letting go. In the end, forgiveness brings peace, and in that peace we find the true essence of a life well lived. 5. Independence is precious. As the sun gently rises over the nursing home, casting a warm glow that dances through the windows, I find myself reflecting on a truth that has become increasingly clear to me. Independence is a precious gift, often unnoticed until it begins to fade away. Here in this place where time moves at its own pace, I am surrounded by individuals who once navigated their lives with ease and confidence, but now face the stark reality of needing assistance for even the simplest tasks: dressing, bathing, eating. It is a transformation that strips away layers of autonomy and dignity, leaving behind a vulnerability that is both humbling and deeply poignant. In observing my fellow residents, I see how the loss of independence affects their sense of self, turning once vibrant individuals into those who must rely on others for the most basic aspects of daily living. This loss is not just physical, it reaches into the very core of who we are, altering how we perceive ourselves and interact with the world. It is a reminder that independence is intricately tied to our identity and our dignity, shaping our lives in ways that are both profound and often overlooked. Thinking back on my own life, I am keenly aware of the autonomy I once took for granted, the ability to move freely, make decisions, and care for myself without a second thought. These were simple pleasures, unnoticed in their abundance, yet they form the foundation of my daily life. Now, as I sit here, I understand that independence is not guaranteed. It is a fleeting privilege that can be diminished or lost with the passage of time. This realization has filled me with a deep sense of gratitude for the independence I still possess, however limited it may be. I cherish the moments when I can dress myself, walk unaided, or enjoy a meal without assistance. Simple acts that now hold profound significance. They remind me of my autonomy and my ability to engage with life on my own terms, even as those terms change with age. Witnessing the dependence of those around me compels me to urge others not to undervalue their own independence while they have it. Everyday independence is an invaluable gift, one that enriches our lives and enhances our quality of life in ways that are both subtle and significant. By consciously appreciating and cherishing your current physical and cognitive independence, you foster a sense of gratitude for this fundamental gift, a gratitude that can transform your perspective and deepen your experience of life. I hope that those who read my reflections will pause to consider the independence they enjoy today, not as a given, but as a treasure to be appreciated and nurtured. Embrace the freedom to move, to choose, to care for yourself, and let it fill you with joy and gratitude. For in the end, it is these simple acts of autonomy that define our humanity, allowing us to live with dignity and purpose, even as the years bring inevitable change. In this place of quiet reflection, I have come to understand that independence is not just about the ability to perform tasks. It is about the freedom to live authentically, to express oneself fully, and to engage with the world in meaningful ways. It is a gift that, once cherished, can enhance your quality of life now and foster a lasting appreciation for the preciousness of autonomy. Independence is precious, and in its presence we find the true essence of a life well lived. 6. Loneliness is the greatest disease. Every morning, as the gentle rays of sunlight filter through my window, I'm reminded of a truth that's become more poignant with each passing day. The most profound challenge we face in this nursing home isn't the physical decline that comes with age, but the quiet, creeping loneliness that settles in when the world seems to have moved on without us. It's a feeling that wraps around you like a shadow, whispering of friendships lost and connections left behind as life continues its relentless march forward. Looking back on my own journey, I'm filled with a bittersweet mix of memories and regrets. I spent so many years chasing career goals and financial success, believing these were the keys to a fulfilling life. In the process, I let relationships slip away, thinking there would always be time to reconnect. Now, in the long, quiet hours of reflection, I realize how misguided that belief was. True wealth isn't measured by what we accumulate, but by the laughter shared with friends, the comfort of a loved one's presence, and the bonds that fill our lives with joy. Here in the nursing home, I see others like me, faces etched with stories of vibrant lives once filled with companionship. As time has passed, many of those connections have faded, leaving behind a loneliness that no amount of physical care can truly heal. It's a powerful reminder that emotional connections are as vital as any medicine, offering a warmth that sustains us through the toughest times. This understanding has taught me a valuable lesson. Nurturing relationships throughout life is essential. These connections provide the warmth and companionship we desperately need, especially as we grow older. They are the ties that remind us we are valued and loved, and they require our attention throughout our lives, a lesson I've learned through the lens of hindsight. To those who still have the gift of time, I urge you to cherish the relationships in your life. Make them a priority. Reach out to those you love. Share your time and your heart. Let them know how much they mean to you. Because in the end, it's not the achievements or possessions that bring comfort, but the love and companionship of those who stand by us, even when the world seems to have moved on. In this quiet place of reflection, I've come to understand that loneliness is indeed the greatest disease, a silent thief that steals joy and connection. But it's a thief that can be kept at bay through the power of love and relationships. Let's not wait until it's too late to recognize their importance. Let's cherish them now, while we still can, and find solace in knowing that we are never truly alone when we have nurtured the ties that bind us to one another. 7. Material things lose their meaning. As I gaze out the window, watching the world bustle by, I can't help but reflect on how the things I once thought were treasures have become just things, stripped of their meaning. Sitting here in the nursing home, I realize that life's true treasures are found not in the possessions we accumulate, but in the laughter, love, and stories shared with those we hold dear. I remember the thrill of buying a new car or the pride of owning a house filled with beautiful furniture. I spent so many years chasing these material things, thinking they would bring happiness and fulfillment. But now, surrounded by the simplicity of this place, I see how little they truly mattered. The excitement they brought was fleeting, a temporary distraction from what was really important. In this quiet space, stripped of the daily responsibilities that once defined me, I've found clarity. The absence of material things has revealed what truly matters: the relationships nurtured, the moments shared, and the memories created with loved ones. I realize with regret that the time spent collecting objects would have been better spent creating moments with family and friends. Living minimally now, I don't miss those possessions. Instead, I cherish the simplicity that allows me to focus on what truly matters. The laughter of a child, the warmth of a friend's embrace, the quiet companionship of a partner. These are the treasures that endure, the memories that linger long after the shine of material objects has dulled. Reflecting on this, I am reminded of the promise that life holds when we shift our focus from accumulation to creation, from owning to experiencing. By investing in meaningful experiences and cherishing relationships, we create a tapestry of rich memories that provide lasting value and fulfillment. These are the things that remain vibrant and alive, even as physical possessions lose their significance. As I navigate this chapter of life, I am filled with a quiet resolve to embrace the intangible, to seek out moments of joy and connection, to build a legacy of love that will endure beyond the confines of this room. In doing so, I find solace in the knowledge that life's true value resides not in the accumulation of objects, but in the depth of our experiences and the strength of our relationships. These are the things that give life meaning, the treasures that remain when all else fades away. As I sit here, the afternoon light soft on the walls, I realize these reflections were never really about aging. They were about living fully, truthfully, and without delay. I've learned that time doesn't ask for our permission before it moves on. It just moves. And somewhere between chasing wealth and worrying about appearances, we forget that happiness was always right here, in the small, quiet moments. So if there's one thing I hope you take with you, it's that you don't have to wait until you're 77 in a nursing home to begin appreciating life. Start now. Say the words you've been holding back. Forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you do. Love loudly and treasure your independence while it still feels effortless. Because at the end, it's not the things we had. It's the love we gave, the peace we built inside ourselves, and the people we held close that truly mattered. If these words stirred something in you, I invite you to subscribe, not just to this channel, but to a way of living more slowly, more honestly, and more gratefully. Share this with someone who may need a quiet reminder that the simplest moments often carry the greatest meaning. Thank you for spending this time with me. May you walk forward with a lighter heart and a deeper appreciation for the life still unfolding in your hands.